welcome. There are so many cute ideas out there. I wanted to always bring you something cute and simple and doable for everybody. And I think I found it and I hope you enjoy. So this is by Acris Punto. It is called the tiered dress, or we're going to call it the tiered dress. And it's simply starting with your tank top. So I'm first going to show you a picture of my inspiration. I saw it at Saks. It was $1,200. It's on sale for $714. Or if you got a couple hours of time and 30 bucks, you can make it yourself, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. I wanted you to see the idea. I used fabric 4367 and I used 2 yards, and I'll kind of break it down for you as I go. I used the tank top, pattern 514, and then for me, I just put this 196, the Cardy, over it. I'm gonna show you that you can do it without. You know, the armhole of my tank top is my sleeveless. It just fits really well. So I just have a tendency, because the stores are so cold, that I really like a little Cardy on. I just feel like for me, it just fits me. It suits me. Not fits me, it suits me. Okay, so that's the tail, and we're gonna go. And I know you can't see a darker fabric, so I've taken pictures, so hang on. So first thing we wanna do is this next picture. We wanna establish proportion. And for many of you, this tiered dress, it's a great look, except that if you're shorter, it just completely, it overwhelms you. It's too long. So the first measurement we're going to take, and I've measured this photo, you can see I've measured from her shoulder to the length of the bottom of her dress, and it's 5.5 inches. So for me, I measured 40 inches is how long I wanted it. So I knew that everything was 8 times bigger than the photo. So I knew the top part would be 20 inches, because it was 40 inches is mine. And if you notice, it's a 1-to-1 still on this same photo. So the top part of the dress and the bottom 2 tiers are the same amount. And then I measured further to see that the 2 tiers are the same amount also. Now this is just styling, and it changes and it differs all over the place, but it's up to you. But this is kind of how I formed my base. So I knew my top portion was going to be 20. My 2 tiers were going to be 10 and 10. And that's what I ended up with, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So then I started with my 514, which is my tank top, and I measured from the base down, and I measured till I got 20, and whatever left was 20, I tucked up. I decided when I used this fabric that I wanted the stripes to go all the way, because when the stripes go all the way, it gives you a taller, thinner look. But you can certainly do it with stripes going every which direction you want to. You could put angular. This particular fabric has stretch in both directions, so you can do anything with this fabric. It's really, really lovely. It's a, I don't know what the fabric is, but I'm telling you, it's wonderful to work with. It was easy. I loved it. It feels amazing on. So that's the first picture and the second picture. The third picture I want to show you is when I'm making the panel. So I've used the tank top, 514. I've used 20 inches of it. And then I go to make the panel. And then the panel, I know it's 10 inches wide, and you can see I'm measuring it there. And then there's fullness. So the bottom of my tank top is 36 inches. That's what I am in through here. So at 36, I want the next panel to be 1 to 1.5, remember? Or you could go 2 to 1, gathers, but I did 1.5 to 1. And so I take 36, and I do 1 and 1.5 of those. 36 and 18 is 54. I actually just used the width of the fabric, which was 60. And I cut a little bit off I cut the selvages off. So you can see that panel is 10 inches wide, plus it's the width of the fabric at 60. It was really easy to do. It's actually 11. Give yourself seam allowances on both sides, because you're going to sew it to the bottom of the tank, and then you're also going to sew it to the next tier. Okay, so it's not even a pattern piece. It's just a rectangle is all it is. The next tier, I don't have a picture of that, but it's the same exact thing. The only difference is now your base is 60, and you're doing 1 and 1.5 of that, which is 90. So I'm doing the same width, and now I'm doing 90 inches, which you can't do with one width of fabric. So you'll need 2 of those 10-inch rectangles. So 1 yard is for the tank top itself. Put the front on the fold, the back on the fold, and 1 yard is going to be the tank top. The next yard is going to be the ruffles, and because they're only 10 inches wide and I need 3 of them, you only need 1 yard. I don't care what size you're making. You're only going to need 1 yard. So I put seams in the second ruffle, and I put them both at the side seams. So instead of making a 90-inch ruffle, I made two 45-inch ruffles and sewed those. So you can see how I made the tank top, tier 1 and tier 2. Okay? All right, then we start sewing. That's the fun part. And I did a dart, and I chose the tank top because I wanted to use a stripe. And this next photo is showing you how nice that dart looks, even in a stripe. If you go to do a French dart, if you go to use 195 as your base, and this is sometimes for me what determines whether I'm going to use 600 or whether, the tank top base or my knit base, because of the dart and the position of the dart and the fabric. And I want to use the best pattern for the fabric, and in this case it's 514, the tank, rather than 195, the sweater set. All right, so I'm using 195. I'm using 514 as my base, and you can see how nice that stripe looks. The next picture I wanted you to see is the tier 1, and you can see that the fullness of that first tier is gathered onto the tank. And notice the amount, the density, because then the next photo here now is the last tier being gathered on to the first tier. Okay, and then all you do is hem the bottom. And guess what? You have this great dress, and it's wonderful, and it feels terrific. And you can put a jacket over it. You could really dress it up. You can just do all kinds of fun things with it. And so you saw the dart, you saw tier 1, and you saw tier 2, and that's as easy as it gets. You just gather it up. It probably, sewing time, I don't know, maybe took me 30 minutes, maybe an hour, but it's just really fun, really easy. It fits great. It feels great because it's your tank top. And you've all got your tank top, and you've got it fitted, and we've started that online fitting class, so I know you guys are getting these fitted. All right, perfect. So the goal is to have happy sewing and to control your clothing so mostly it looks so good on you. It looks proportioned on you. So if my 40 inches, it might be 34 on you. It might, whatever it is, keep those proportions intact and make it work for you. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.